Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel The Vibes Inside. I am Mariana and I'm here with a new moon reading in the sign of Aquarius, happening on the 9th, 10th of February 2024, depending on where you live in the world, but I'm here with some energies right now. This is a general reading, of course it will not be for everyone. So just, if you feel like it resonates, take it, and if not, just leave it be, right? There are a lot of other readers out there that may provide other content that is more resonating with you, perhaps. And I feel like I'm saying this in the best intentions of Aquarius because I have a feeling of this new moon is very much about choosing oneself, right? Choosing something that is you, right? That resonates, that not something that looks good on paper or something that you may somehow favor. Like, it's about authenticity and really owning who you are, and even if that's not liked, Aquarius is like that. It goes against the stream. It won't allow itself to be pushed into a corner, or it stands firm in its, it cannot be shattered, right? It's like an energy that cannot be shattered no matter what kind of pressures on it. It must never be shattered. It's like a So that is maybe also a message, like don't shatter yourself, or the sides of you that you may not be proud of. It doesn't matter. Own it, right? Just accept it, have compassion for it, own it, because it's still you. So this can be anything, the worst thoughts you may have. Like if you are like excessively jealous about something or someone, it's like really looking at those sides of you that are, perhaps not likable in the world. But it still constitutes you, right? It's still a part of you. And then just realizing that, well, it is me somehow. And of course I can run from it or disown it or say it's not me, or I don't want to recognize it in myself. I don't like it in myself, perhaps, but it's still kind of there, isn't it? Poking at you. So I guess that's why I had that kind of saying in the beginning, that if it really isn't you, just let it be, right? If what I'm saying here is not likable to you somehow, just let it be, right? If it's not you, don't touch it, right? Like if it doesn't resonate deeply in you with everything you are, just let it be, right? Don't choose it. Don't choose it for the colors of the cards, right? Don't choose it for wrong reasons. Don't choose the life you have for the wrong reasons, for reasons that are not your own. I hope I somehow made that message clear in some way, right? That and then there's something about bringing the future into your past. I was shuffling the cards and the center card came out here, and I kind of looked at it because it shows a bit of, well, it looks to me a bit like a diamond here in the center here. And we know about diamonds that they're usually shaped under a lot of pressure, right? That there's that what could go on in the moment, or what kind of epiphany that may come to you, or what kind of choice you make at this time, or it's coming in with this new moon, allowing you maybe to go in a different direction. Maybe you realize you are a diamond, that you have been under an enormous amount of pressure to, like, the part of you that is really you. I've talked about the core a lot in my readings, what the core of everyone out there is. And when you get to know what that is, you realize, have you been true to that? Have you been true to that version of yourself? Or have you somehow been this diamond? That core of yours is that diamond under pressure. The pressure of the matrix, the world around us, our parents, whatever. Maybe that's a generalized thing that is going on at the moment with this new moon, that we get a peek, right? We get a peek at what the core of ourselves actually could be, and whether we have been true to that or not. Have we been acting with integrity? Do we even have integrity? Do we have autonomy about who we are? What we believe in? Even if that autonomy is going to create disturbance in the field, meaning your family, maybe with your friends, maybe with your... I guess what I'm saying is that Aquarius is known to have a bit of a rebellious side, but it depends on from what standpoint you're looking. Others may view Aquarius as a rebellion. Aquarius itself just sees itself for what it is, and sees that it's different than what it stands in front of. And what is on the other side doesn't accept Aquarius for what it is, the autonomy that it has. That is the difference. It seems like Aquarius is the one that is somehow weird or strange or something, but actually it just stands its own autonomy. Even if it differs from what is mainly going on in the world, it just stands in its own autonomy. It has no interest in changing that. And other people may have a hard time figuring out what to do about it. People may withdraw from Aquarius. They may not, they don't understand. Aquarius is a fixed air sign. Highly intelligent. It knows, it just knows. So, and sometimes Aquarius is the bringer of brutal truth. A brutal voice, you could say, in the sense that when it comes in, it has a very clear message. That's why I say that maybe you realize you are a diamond that has been under a lot of pressure. The message is perhaps the pressure, you know. Look at the pressure around you and what it has shaped you into. And if you listen to the core voice, are you happy? Are you sad? If you are sad or unhappy, it's because it's inauthentic. the life you live is inauthentic, that you are this diamond here, but it has to get out of the mine. You know, like you have to find it. You have to become that mind worker that is digging, right? Now I get this feeling of Minecraft, right? You have to be a Minecrafter, right? You have to be willing to dig in, use your hatches, right, to find this in yourself. Get away all the stone, get away all this pressure that is so fixed and puts a heavy load on you, right? Get that away and find this in you. And when you face this, it's like, yeah, there can be a sense of sadness if you're not living according to it. If you have made so many choices that are not in alignment with it. And that's why Aquarius is known to be this rebellion. It chooses what's in its core. It has to, right? Otherwise, it's a self-betrayal. It's high treason. It's an act. It's false. And it will make you unhappy. I feel like there's something about almost like quantum field here, that it because after this card I was asked to put the card here, and normally I do left to right. Right here it's like right to left, and left usually indicates past energies, things like that. So it's almost like bringing something from the past or a future version of you into the past, perhaps to heal something, you know? If there is a big wound here and we're carrying it with us, it can determine the future that you somehow work your way towards, at least in the linear time understanding. So it feels a little bit like tapping into a future version, or like a desired version, perhaps. A version of you that you would like, as I said, if you had lived according to your core from the get-go. What would your life look like then? And then kind of take this and put it into, like, it's almost like you're shifting your past. Or there could be this, with this new moon, like there is an ability to somehow think more of yourself, or think of yourself in this version that you are, right? That version of yours with the best possible outcome. Imagine yourself with the best possible outcome and kind of just shift it, right? You put it over here so that this was your past. So how would that make you feel now? Somehow. That's what I feel like. It's like shifting the past, like changing a memory here, exchanging a memory. Yeah, okay, let's have a look at this. So the core card, I have Angel of Strength. Interesting. So immediately I hear Lionheart here, right? Maybe Richard Lionheart. I'm actually not that familiar with the story. I just know that I guess I know something like Richard Lionheart. This story was about this special king, right? Who has this, like his heart is like a lion, in the sense that, well, a lion can be a predator, right? But a lion can also be a a very strong strength here, a very strong and very, very good-hearted, with a lot of concern for the people living in the kingdom. A very gracious leader and king. Like and I think that Leo energy can actually have this, like it graciously can actually share some of the abundance that it has, right? That it what it has to offer, whatever it may be, is available, right? That if it's somehow mine, it's also yours. Like, so if it's a property, a house maybe, it's yours also, right? You can go there anytime you want. My doors are open, you know. Or it's maybe it's money. So if it's my money, it's also your money, right? Whatever I have or am, it's yours, right? It's maybe I am only, again, I've said before, like a leader, a king, is only a king because others choose not to be the king. Like they choose to follow. A leader can only be a leader if someone chooses to follow them. Or a teacher or something. That a teacher can only be a teacher if someone wants to listen. Right? Otherwise, they are not a teacher. They cannot be. So, you see, a real leader or a real king realizes this. Like they would actually probably be a bit humble, because regard that so many people trust the king, right? Trust in their ability to lead and see what could be good investments, or what could be a good choice or a good path for this kingdom. Regard that I have somehow been given this opportunity to share what I believe in, but I can only be a leader if someone is willing to follow, you know? I think Richard Lionheart would embody that. Or, you know, Arthur from Avalon or from Camelot. It's a bit like, this is a special role to perform or be, and I can only be this because of everyone else. If this was not there, I couldn't have, like, I could never be the king. I could never. And there could be this sense of humbleness in that, right? And understanding that and there is a responsibility, of course. So you could say that maybe the diamond here under pressure is someone who has great leadership skills, who are actually very strong here. But I also have angel of strength here, so it's a and now I get something like divine strength, but you know that there's a this can easily sound grandiose, you know, like it can easily tip over into like a sense of grandiose thinking, right? If I say it like that, and I don't get that at all, actually. It's actually a quite humble. Look at also how the lion carries its head. It's almost like it's bowing. Like it bows to I hear audience, but the followers, right? Like bowing to the audience in the sense of having I bow to you because I recognize you, right? I recognize that there is a ping pong here. And it's bowing, the lion bows here, or is, you know, like, it does that because it has an angel here with it. And this angel is guiding this lion, right? It's yeah, I get Richard Lionheart, like a king that really I'm not quite sure about the story, but is there, you know, like a so I rely on the guidance I get here. I'm not familiar with the story, but I get something like, and you please correct me if I'm wrong about this, but I get something about, you know, like a king that has been. Now I get the hobbits, or what is he called? The one from the rings of. Yeah, it's something like a disowned king or heir who is fighting, you know, like he's fighting his way back to become the rightful heir of the throne, you know, like a. Yeah, now I get exile, like a king in exile. Or a leadership potential, maybe that's the diamond here, like a leadership potential in exile, that is trying to find its way back to the kingdom that it actually is the king of, you know, like so this can talk about your own leadership in your own life. It can talk about a repressed leadership voice that should actually be your voice, right? It should actually be what you direct your life from. And that could be what you're realizing here with the diamond. It could be something like my voice, my own voice here of autonomy has never been listened to, right? It has never had a chance to grow and unfold and become its own, have strength in its own way. Angel with wings here is air, right? It comes from an intuitive guidance, a crown chakra downloads, you know. So that could be something about like realizing that you do have this. That there is something in you that is directing you or helping you see your own lion. Lion Leo is the leader, that's the father, it's the sun card. It's the most abundant, most like the biggest, the most the brightest shining, it is leadership. It is peaking. It is the highest potential that you could ever have in this life. The sun is regarded as the father, the most shining, most golden, most glittery, you could say successful. We can say success here. It has strength. It's a go-getter. It has enormous confidence. It has to have enormous confidence to be the king. It has to never ever waver in its decision. It has to trust in its own autonomy. It has to trust in the role it has been given. And you see, it's almost like it bows to this information. It bows to this knowledge. I get almost like it's almost like the angel says it's time, right? It's time for you to now embody this lion. And it's like this, like, okay, right? Okay, maybe I am this lion. Maybe I can do this. Maybe I do have what it takes. Maybe I am. Leo in the zodiac is the opposite of Aquarius. So there could be something about a meeting here between Aquarius and Leo. You know, like that the air, the angel card here, the angel behind the lion is a representative of Aquarius here. The air. And then there is a lion here. You know, so it's about own leadership. It's definitely about like feeling that you have it's, you know, like it's almost like the lion safeguards, right? That it safeguards something here that is looking. It stands here and is saying something, right? But then there's almost like a safeguard here. Or like a shield, like the lion stands as a shield here. So it's like a voice or an identity or like a core identity that is somehow in a relationship. Again, it's in a relationship with something. There are two here, right? And it's like the lion is not looking at the angel to, you know, like to feast on it. Both of them are looking towards you here, or to the camera, right? And if this is the diamond inside you, the core in you, the one under pressure, I would say this is a leadership voice in some sense, a strength that you may not think you have, that has been maybe under a lot of pressure. But I want to say, yeah, I get something like it's time. It's like it's time to get that exiled prince back on the throne as a king, right? It's time to have this, to face the music somehow, or to stand your ground on something. Show that you are more than what people may think. We are always more. than what we show the world, right? That there's something, there's more here. Let's have a look at what the past had to tell us here, right? So Ace of Wands. And remember, this is what I feel like we want to shift, right? That this is in the left position, and we want to take something here and put it over here. Somehow it comes across as a Ace of Wands is usually what we call a new beginning. A new beginning of something. I actually get life force here, like a it's like, and it does actually look like that to me, like, you know, like when you put your, like when I put my hands around the candle, I feel the heat of it, so I'm warming my hands like a, you know, like a bonfire or something. In this case it looks a bit like a match, but actually it's just one wand here. It's which is normally a good thing, like it's an ace. But the way it comes across, it looks a little bit like a match in the darkness somehow. Now I get a reference to this like fairy tale of H.C. Andersen, the girl with the 3 matches, so what it's called, something like that. She sits out in the cold. She has nowhere to go. She's alone. It's very cold. She has no food. She has nothing. There's no parents. There's nobody to care for her. So it feels very much out in the cold. She has only those few small matches here that can somehow maybe give a sense of soothing. And every time she lights one match, it's like she tries to also have a memory, you know, like a good memory, or she imagines the nice dinner in the cozy home, right? But she's not in that cozy home. She is imagining it. So this could be the feeling. I get like I wanna have a look at the bottom of the deck for this card, because I get like 5 of Pentacles here. So I get High Priestess underneath it all, and look at her. It's like she flows, like I get imagination. Like it's like a flowing. Because of certain circumstances here around her, you know, the matches here are used to kind of flee the world, I feel like. It's like she's levitating, flowing, perhaps like a dream or daydream or something. Flowing into fantasy. So you could say that maybe that's what happened in the past, right? That's something. Because the High Priestess, I would say this is like a and it's underlying energy for this. So there has been this before this. Like there has been this before this. So this has been maybe leading up to something that is now here. But this was in the past. It's still past position here. Considered past position, linear time thinking. Um, it's like a floating in a, like we could talk about meditation here. We could talk about, again, dreaming, visualizing, fantasizing here. The High Priestess is it's a very feminine but major arcana here. Like she's definitely in a transformation process. She's in some kind of ritual, or maybe she's doing some kind of flame ritual here. But there is something again about this, like the Ace of Wands. Again, I said it's like the hands, like you could warm yourself up, but the hands could also look a bit like a protective. This is life force, right? And there's something protective here around it. Again, the lion here could feel like it stands to protect something, right? That it stands in front like a shield. It protects something here. It stands like a shield here as a protective mechanism of a sense of life force. Could we imagine that if the lion is not there, the hands would disappear and the life force would stand there by itself alone here? So who is she? Like, why is it necessary? Like, again, I get this autonomy feeling, like there is a necessity that this should be here. That something should shield this, and maybe that's what she's doing here. Has been preparing up till this moment for this new moon, that it's time to transform, or because she is floating, like, or she is flying, levitating here, and that could be this one here, right? There are two pillars in the background. Again, I get this feeling like the hands, like something is holding her or allowing her to flow here. She, like this one and this one could be the same, right? They could be the same here. But she cannot flow like that unless something is perhaps, like protective, holding the fort in some way. That's how she can. And without it, like without this lion here, she becomes the girl with the matches. Does that make sense? Like without this shield in some autonomy or, integrity feeling, without it, it becomes, I get a feeling of like vulnerable, like she cannot flow in her essence here without it. And I feel like, maybe the High Priestess combined with Aquarius energy, like that would be very intelligent here, what they are doing. We have the moon here. We have the moon here. Or something here. But I see it as the moon because it's rather dark. It actually has the shape of a new moon. Pretty much the same here. Like we see it as primarily a new moon like that. of course, we know that it's a planet, it's round, but we can only see part of it at the moment because the sun doesn't shine on it, right? So now I get a reference to like what this actually also symbolizes, because there is something about well, I've said before on my channel that Capricorn is the season, at least in the northern hemisphere, that where we have the least sun, the least amount of hours during the day of what we can call sunlight. It's cold, it's frosty, the sun is not there to warm us up. It's on the other side of the globe because of the 23.5 tilt that the Earth is rotating with. So when we are in the winter time, it's actually because where we are in the world, like our position in the world faces away from the sun. That's why we only have a little bit of it available. It's rather cold. We don't have the same warmth. It's on the other side of the globe. So, of course, I reference to those who feel like when they are in Aquarius time, which we are right now, outside it would look like winter. Maybe because I live in Denmark, so I have this as well. It's winter outside my window right now, and maybe it isn't where you are. Then it's because the sun is available at the moment. And that is also one of the things you can understand. Capricorn is used to darkness. They are used to this darker realm. They become very concentrated on getting the goal done in the quickest time possible, because they only have limited daylight to do it. Aquarius is the sign where you shift from the very dark position, then it's the next season. The next season allows a little more light in. Pisces a little more, and then we get into spring, right? So Aquarius is this first light after the darkness, you could say. It's the first. It's still cold outside. We got snow yesterday, so here in Denmark right now we have snow. But what I want to say about is that it's something about where do you get your strength from? You know, I believe that people born during the summer, like they benefit from the sun. Like they like the sun. They want to get out in the sun. Well, most of us do, right? We like the warmth, but it can get too hot also, right? Sometimes it dries out. It's too dry, it's too hot. It's way too much. And well, what do I want to say about that? I want to say something like, well, maybe it's something like this lion is bowing its head, and it's because it's not going to challenge you. it's like a protector, right? It's like a protector in some way, a soldier by your side who understands the worth of whoever this is. I think it's the same, right? She and this one is the same. They see the beauty. They see the beauty of her more than wanting to kill her, if you want to say, right? This can be an inner thing, like an inner union between your yin and yang, like something is witnessing, like a core, that the diamond here you have is worth protecting. Maybe you haven't done that, right? Maybe you haven't protected your core well enough. She can only flow and be herself if she is well protected. By someone who honors her, who is gracious, who, like the strength of this lion could be used to protect her, you could say. Whatever she has to say, this can be a yin and yang thing here inside you, right? That you realize, oh, what I have inside me here that actually wants to show itself, that wants to flow freely. I have not done that, right? I have not allowed that part of me to be seen, or but now I do. Like I wanna protect that part of me here. But you see, if you haven't done that, you would only have a few matches here to light off your life. It would be small. And I feel like Aquarius, knowing that you are like the first light that comes in after a dark period, and winter time, after the cold, you will be like a sense of shift. It's still cold there. It can still be frosty and cold, and that's also what Aquarius is known for, right? It's known for this pretty sometimes a bit sharp, cold way of delivering messages. And it's very misunderstood, I believe. They, like Aquarius, can seem aloof. Like they can seem like it's cold and brutal, as I said. Like they don't care about other people's feelings. There is not much warmth still in how they bring something across, you could say, right? At least that could be what other people think about Aquarius. I don't see Aquarius at all like that. I have an Aquarius sun. Yes, he brings his truth. But I know him, right? I know what's underneath. I know what else is in there. But I feel like for some reason, if it's like it came across like matches, and I got this, like this fairy tale of this girl with the girl with the matches, H.C. Andersen, right? There's no comfort. There's nothing she can do but strike a few matches to just, warm her hands for a little bit of time. And while she's doing that, she's using her imagination to imagine a better life for herself, a life where she would be probably taken care of, and where everything was beautiful and easy. So I get almost a feeling like a life where the hands have not been there. And she only had these few matches. And now the high priestess, whatever she's doing, she's bringing in something here. It's like she's calling in protective hands somehow. So I almost get the feeling of like a story that this is almost obsolete. I don't need it, right? It's like the hands have not been there. And you know, the prince in exile with no supporters, no like thrown out of the castle, thrown out of the kingdom. But now it's like something is coming in here, and it's because she's been doing something here, right? The high priestess always does something. It's a sense of a ritual or working with certain spirits. She is making her dance, levitation dance. We could talk about ascension here, like she's trying to levitate. She's trying to raise herself towards something else. You know, like the globe does. Like when we are in winter, what happens is that, well, for us as humans, it feels like after the winter we levitate, or we get out of the cold into a warmer place, right? So it's like leaving something behind that is not useful, and then going towards something else, choosing to go towards something else, but also knowing that because Aquarius is still in the cold era, it still has limited daylight. And the warmth of Aquarius is not quite there. It can come across as aloof. Maybe you had an aloofness as a, you know, like a sense of aloofness once, which probably made people leave, right? You didn't attract anything by it. And aloofness may not get support, you know? Aloofness may not get support. Aloofness sometimes makes people a bit, they can't figure you out, right? Like they can't figure out what you are. People that are very open like a book, you know, it's easier to relate to them. Either you like them or you don't. So if you can come across as, you know, aloof or a closed book, or it could also be what this talks about, that, you know, like the hands can show up like this or like this, but then they could also open, you know, like perhaps this is what it is, that maybe the hands were, you know, like closed in front of the flame. Nobody could see what you stand for, what your values are, and the you know, like the opening here, like an opening of doors, could be this feeling of like people can have a glimpse now. They can see what's inside. You know, like this. Because the lion bows, you can actually see a little bit more of what's inside. Like if he was a soldier, a warrior here, standing to defend her, you know, and he would stand and roar in front of her, you know, like an avoidance presence. Don't come near me, right? Don't come near me. I'm going to, you know, attack you if you come near me. Now it's like he bows and he lets this one be seen, right? Whoever she is here. That he is now in still a protective mode, you could say, but something else is shown here. Yeah, it could be this feeling that maybe before it's like me and you against the world. That we can't trust the world out there, we can't speak our mind, we can't say anything, and I'm going to roar if something comes too close to me. And that would be, you would have closed the doors here. Nobody would see that flame inside you, what it actually is, what it talks about. What is the meaning? What standpoints or worldviews are in here? If it's closed, nobody can see it, and it could be this feeling that you are like slightly opening up the doors again here. But let's have a look at this one here. Yeah, fire. And fire, it says fire, it is reversed here. And I said it was like this was taken over here, right? Like the fire is from a future point taken back to a past experience. Let me just get a hold of this. This seems rather abstract. Like a I want to have the bottom of the deck for this as well. Yeah, it's so interesting. So, because it's reversed here, so it feels like a fire that is contained somehow. You see the reverse card, it's a flow card. And look at her here, right? It's the same things. So what's the difference? It's like it's almost like I said like the opening of doors, so you can see the fire. Maybe in the past, like there has been more fire shown, in the sense of fire can be anything. It can be it can be willpower. It can be go-getter energy. But it can also be just desire, lust even. It can be like this is the driver, a need to flow, a need to be free, a need to express yourself as you are, But there is a difference here. Like the difference is that this is like how can I say this? Like it's something like because you take this, and I said it's like it wants to come over here. It's like a containment of fire, meaning like because here, first of all, it's reversed and it's in a bubble here. So something is contained, like where here it is shown, right? Here it is shown, right? Here it's shown. It's shown here. It's shown. Here it's more contained, and it's like taking the containment and put it in the past position. So I feel it's like the fire, and I get a bit like the same. This is Leo energy is the fire as well, right? Like once maybe the lion here would show its teeth, right? It would show up in its fullest extent here. But now it's like it bows, or it decides not to take the full picture. It decides not to be the biggest, it decides not to be the biggest here. The lion could take up the entire space, but he allows something else to stand here as well, to be here as well. I'm not saying he's bowing, like now he's under someone else's demand. It's just an allowance that it's like there is it a balance? I don't know exactly if it's a balance. It just feels like here you Here it feels like giving, like you give, you just open up and you let something be available here, like let it be available. But I still get this feeling of it's not much, right? It's just like a match. It's not a big bonfire or it's a very little match here. Well, it could be something like in the past your willpower to insist on, let's say, your high priestess, like to insist on her to be part of your life, that this is you, right? Your willingness to show that was very little. It was like a little match. It was just a little match. And showing it was almost just something you could warm your own hands on, right? It was something small, you could say. You could say your expression of it would come across just as a little match that people could warm their hands on, right? And now it's like I want to take this very explosive fire and put it over here. Like it's contained in some way. You contain that. Like when something is a little fire to it becomes a big fire. Because I feel this is a quite big fire. And somehow it is in a bubble here. Like it's contained or you have it under control somehow. It could be something like I can't show this, right? If I show this, I can only show a little match. I can only show, like at the beginning, like a little match here I can show of what I am here, of what I am. And it's interesting how these are, they show kind of, like moon or like just a little bit of light here. And over here as well, like there's only a little bit shown. But this, like these, here we have the fire contained in some way, or it's held in position, and we have this big moon in the background here. That is lit up, you can see it very, very easily. So it feels a little bit like a little shine or a little touch, like it's almost like you're not touching her here, or you have very little access to her. It's only a little bit, it's a little match. Here it's like a bonfire fire. But it's contained, like you rule it. Like you are, look at it, like you rule it. Now it's here. And she stands here and is like doing her thing. She wants the flow here. The ability to have flow in the world. Flow in her life. Something easier. An easier life perhaps. Something that feels natural and easy and relaxed. Look at her expression here. But it's small, I feel like it's shadowy perhaps. It's, it's moon-like. It's something you only show when you only show it in very small portions. And maybe only when you are alone or something. And this looks more like a full-blown fire. But you control it here. A full-blown fire of what your flame is. It's out in the open. People can see it here, right? They can see it in the background. It's not hidden. They can see it. It's almost like a halo around her head here, right? And she's creating the life that she wants based on it. It's become, it almost feels like a, look at again the shine here around her head here. Like it becomes bigger. From a tiny little flame, that is in you, that you have you like something, you want something, you have a little desire growing for something in your life. This is now like standing in full purpose, knowing exactly what it is you burn for. It's very contained. You have it under control. You are molding it. You're using it as a fuel to get the flow. that you want, or you could say the other way around, the flow that you want is now yielding, or you could say the flow that you would like to have in your life is the expression that you want to have, the flow and easiness and levitation and access to whatever you would like in life is the driver. It is the driver here. It's also the driver over here to get something. But it's just like here it's contained. Meaning it's like your life force is contained. Here it's almost like the doors are open to your life force. Like maybe you've tried to kind of, like this is mine, right? This is mine to have and to control and to... But because the doors were opened here, maybe you have been very generous in your life. As I said in the beginning, like a very generous, mine is yours. Whatever I have is yours. And now it's like, and I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. Not only if you eventually lose your own ability, your own life force. Like if you give so much that you eventually have nothing. If you give so much that there is an open access to you in some way, and your life force, whatever that is here, eventually you could be the one starving. Eventually you're the one not having much. Eventually, and here it just feels like it's very contained, like nobody has access to just drain your energy, or something like that. It feels rather contained and very vibrant, very big also. It's not a little match here. I feel like it's your life force energy that is somehow protected. Here it feels like it... Well, you may have tried to, but I get for some reason I got the feeling of like a match, like a striking a match, and that's what you have. Like you have just a little match. It's not big, it's not vibrant, it's not something that could sustain just a little slight rain. It could feel like a bit of a starved place, or like it's just a match, like it's just a little match. And if you could somehow, it's like it's protected, but it's not protected. Like it's like the feeling of like that there's something trying to protect it, but it's not very strong. And maybe this angel of strength is your diamond, right? This is the one that you have inside you. You do have that strength to protect yourself and be autonomous and stand on your own 2 feet. You can be that one. You can flow freely here. You can be that. I think this looks a bit like, I said in the beginning, it's almost like this has been standing alone, and now these hands are coming in. But they don't protect from all angles, or they don't hold the fort from all angles. If a storm comes in here, it will blow out the match. And a little match can only show a little part of when the sun is small. When the sun is small, when the fire is small, it cannot sustain the same wind or storm or rain. That could be what this is, like a confidence things, right? That if my flame is little, if my confidence is little, if my fire is little, I cannot sustain the same as someone who is a lion here, who stands in like total vibrant fire, like the sun. If I don't have a sun in me, my confidence is low, right? If I try to flow like this, I feel vulnerable. I feel like I'm not protected from all sides. And somehow I feel like there is this future version, or I say future, but like if you believe in the quantum field, you would have past, present, and future available at the same time. So this just feels like I take a so-called future version of me and I put it in my past here, like that. So if this was my past, that I had autonomy here, I was, I had my boundaries. I flowed with this autonomy. I had this energy field around me that just is strong and it's vibrant and it has force and it has so much go-getter energy. My confidence is, like it's protected. I stand in my fire. I stand in this power. I am vibrant. I am confident. I go out in the world like that. I have this, it follows me around. It's with me. That if I had this, how would my future be then? The linear understanding. How would my linear future, if this was my past, how would my future be then? Right? How would my future be if I had this enormous like confidence? You know that if you are strong, you are strong. You don't even need a proof that you're strong. I believe only lions who don't actually do have confidence, they seek proof all the time of their strength. Those who know they are strong, they are not looking. They just know they are. They inhibit it. They own it. They know that this is me. I have this. This is mine. To rule, again, this is my kingdom. Like this is my kingdom. Here it feels like others may have access to your kingdom, right? Here it's vibrant. It's strong. It's whole. I want to feel like. I want to say, if I've had this when I grew up, if this was my reality, if this is who I am, and I could somehow erase my past memory, that this is now my memory, this is who I am, how would my future be then? Well, let's have a look at that. So I get this card. I get 6th chakra, Archangel Michael. So now you have a full flowing vibrancy here, right? A full flowing vibrancy. But I want to say of this, of her. A full flowing vibrancy of maybe soul here, right? Of who you are. You would show up in the world like this. that is such a difference. You wouldn't have to hide yourself. Again, as I said, she could be one doing this, at night where nobody's looking, by herself. She's not showing it necessarily. There's not much light on her. There's not much confidence in her here. But what if you had this? If you have had this, you would go out in the world absolutely trusting your integrity here, your third eye. You would be absolutely and vibrantly just standing in your capacity as with a sense of brilliancy. This is white and blue. It's very, I want to say it is Aquarian in that sense, or maybe divine. I said divine in the beginning. I'm always a bit reluctant with divine and humanity. Like, it's, we are both, I believe. We are soul, an infinite being, an infinite vibrant being. And we are also human. So we have a mortal human life, and we have soul. So this could be this could talk about like a soul corporation, maybe, or like a maybe an integration, like maybe that's what she's been doing here, like trying to soul integrate here, match by match by match. I said fire ritual, something like match by match by match, like integrating, like and soul integration, or like a fire, a flame integration, a confidence integration. That could be what she has been doing here, match by match by. It's like maybe she has been gathering matches here, one at a time. One at a time. So that eventually she's having this. Eventually she's having this. And owning it is, again, I feel like it's very it is there's a boundary around it, an unshakable and an impenetrable boundary around her confidence or her fire here. This is her fire, not someone else's. Like, the doors are not open here for others to claim some of hers or share it, or again, like maybe like a generosity that has, like, giving too much in some way. Giving too much. Mine is yours. Like, we share everything. The High Priestess can talk about, she can be a healer here. Right? She can be a and like, if you are a gracious and open healer, you just give it, or you just show up with it. It's available. People can see it. They can just take it, or they can just lucrate on it, or something like that. trying to, like trying to build a defense perhaps around yourself here. But I feel like also that at some point, or mostly at night perhaps here, it's rather naked, like she is. Like there is no shield, there is nothing to protect her here. She could have been trying to call in help. But it may have felt like it was only partial, only partial help here. Only partially protected. But here it feels like it's absolutely protecting her. Absolutely protected. Again, the fire reversed, like nothing can come in here and just like have access to whatever it is that she can do here. This is hers to own, to be. It's not for someone else. It's not small, it's very big. Though she contains it, it's hers. But the more fire you have, the more energy you may also have in your body. I believe that during winter time we spend more time indoor, right? We rest more perhaps because, well, unless you are like a ski sports person, right? Then you would maybe enjoy going out there in the cold and the snow and everything. But I think there's a little more, like a sense of coziness. Like we sit in by the fireplace and warm ourselves with a blanket and like we become like any other animal out there. We seek shelter where we can find a bit of rest from all the cold out there. We want to find this shelter place, right? Maybe that's what you have been. Maybe you have been a shelter for others. Like maybe your light here is your flame is very comforting. And others have come, like to warm their hands on your fire, But not knowing that your fire yourself also needs nurture. It also needs someone to be there for them. It also needs to be cared for. That others cannot just come and, like just warm themselves on you and then leave, Like you may have a flame like that, like, so this flame of yours, yes, it may still be a very comforting, peaceful one, perhaps. People can come and warm themselves by your fire, right? It's a shelter. Maybe you are a shelter or have been a shelter here for others. What's mine is yours. Come in, that my door is open, maybe it's not literally your doors was open, but maybe it's like your energy field here has not been well protected. Like it just kind of was all out there. Something else could have access to this and warm themselves by your fire, Like something is lucrating, or what is that called? Lodging. Like if someone is lodging on your energy. Maybe you were not aware of whatever these hands are here. Maybe you do know some of them, but there could be other energies here lodging on your life force. And it has been rather unprotected, I think. Maybe especially at night, I don't know. But that others could come and just warm their hands. That's what I feel like. It's like you could have been like a match to energies that like the little girl out in the snow alone. Homeless energies, homeless souls maybe. Like they could come and warm their hands on your energy field here. You will know if this makes sense, like what's mine is yours. Maybe, your soul is like that. Maybe that is your soul. It's like that. Like maybe your soul is like this, and that's why it like certain energies comes closer. But it also will eventually drain your energy, right? Maybe you could be the one starving. You could be the one that now is looking for friends who would actually give you something. Because if we open up and we are just giving and giving and giving and being open and available and always there and always listening and always and maybe that is you at your core, like maybe you are that, like that is your soul, But I just get the feeling that it needs a protector, right? It needs something that honors it, that sees its value, and it's standing here like a protector. And that could be what this signals, like the bubble here, if you can see it, the bubble around the fire could be like this lion, right? That is circling. It circles you, right? Like a protective shield. Because your energy is like this. Like what's in here is this. And that's your core, right? This is your core. This could be your soul. And this is worth fighting for, or it's worth protecting. Because you are generous, or because you like mine is yours, or and so on. It doesn't mean that the world out there is necessarily going to reward that. We say that nice people finish last because they are maybe too generous or too kind, or like they let other people run all over them. They are too giving. But that could be your nature, right? It could be your nature like that. But here it just feels like, like there is a boundary. It could be something about your confidence or your worth. You actually see your worth. You actually see, I'm this. This is me. If people cannot see this about me, if people cannot see this about me, they're not worth my time, right? I think this is actually a bit of I'm speaking to the nice people out there. Those who are very kind and nice. And they are, they are healers and helpers and nurses and, they want to help other people. They feel like they could be in service of other people in the sense that they are here to help somehow, which is beautiful. I really think it's beautiful. But it doesn't mean that those who need help, they recognize that. As I said, it's like people may come, they just warm their hands, and when they get warm again, they leave. And you just stand there with your flame, right? And kind of wonder, oh, okay. So that could be the feeling of that doormat thing, right? That I'm someone who people just warm their hands by, right? This is nice, thank you so much, right? Or even not even thank you, it's just, this is nice, thank you. And then they're out again. So this could be the great friend, the beautiful, sweet friend, who's always there, always available, always, they always listen, they always have time for you, they put aside their own agenda, they are available, they want to help, they give you money, they lend you something, they, your car, your whatever, they do that. What's mine is yours, right? So if you need something, you just say it, right? I'll just, so my life force is yours. So if you need life force, you could say, you can come and warm yourself by me. But eventually this becomes a little match. Eventually it almost dies out. Because it has to be contained here for you to be vibrant and healthy and, strong and confident and to be this one, like to be like this and really show people. So it's a shout out, I feel like, to the nice people, the nice guys out there, the nice girls, the nice daughters, the nice sons. This is about individuation also. It's about this autonomy thing, like really knowing who you are and having the worth, like knowing my life force is special. Not everybody has this. And I don't want to make my life force available to something that just warms their hands and then leaves. Maybe I want to make my life force available primarily for myself, because this is who I am. Maybe as a healer, right? I want to be able to stand in my full capacity as a healer, perhaps. And I choose whom I show up for here. I choose who I show up for. So yes, I do have the flame here, but now I also have I feel like a protector, an honorable protector here, who is like they know, right? They know what this is. They have understood how beautiful this is. That's why they're there. That's why they circle you now. They circle you here, right? They are circling your life force, protecting it. So this could be like an inner reconciliation with yourself, that your energies have found. It's like you see this side of yourself that are kind of merging, almost like merging with each other, with respect, I feel like. Again, these two, they are respecting each other, right? When she feels valued and seen and understood for what she is respecting the one doing that, right? The one that actually sees her for what she is, what she stands for, what her values are. The one who respects her and wants to be there for her, no matter what. She respects that one. So that's like this mutual respect. The lion here knows that this is a very special flame. It's a very friendly, like it's a healer flame. It wants to help. It's designed to help, right? But not just taken for granted, not just stepped all over, not a doormat, right? Not a doormat. Where people come and just warm themselves up and then they leave again. That's what I feel like. Sometimes people are there and they want to warm themselves up, but sometimes they are not. And again, I said something about a leader in the beginning, that a leader cannot have, a leader cannot be a leader unless someone wants to follow. But you see, a healer can also not be a healer if there are no one there to need healing or help. So if you are a helper person or soul or core, someone needs to be there who needs help, wants help, but are also willing to recognize your healing abilities. So a healer, yes, they either need customers or they need people around them whom they can help. Otherwise, they cannot be this. But first of all, they have to recognize that they are a healer. And what they have to offer is special. And if people can see it, doesn't want to honor it, doesn't want to, applaud it or be kind about it, be, grateful for it, then they are probably not the right customers, right? They're probably not the right people to heal, maybe, or to help, or to be available for. So if you somehow make your life force available to anyone, just know that some are really just there to comfort themselves for a while and then they leave again. And they may come back, just comfort them and then leave again. That could also be what this is, people come just to maybe to have sex, then they leave again. They get access to your flame, then they leave again. Then they come back, they leave again. They come back, they leave again. As long as the door is open, Maybe you decide to close your door. And you decide on actually, instead of just holding a bit of matches, I'm going to grow this. I'm going to grow my self-worth. I'm going to grow. Like this could be, because it's just a little match, it could be the sense that it's a low self-esteem, like just a little, it's tiny. It's very tiny. Or just a beginning of something, but people come and just, this is nice, and then they leave again. So a healer also, or a big helper gene, needs something that wants help or is seeking help. Otherwise, it can't heal anything. It can't help. It can't be there. It can't be available. So, but it also needs for this to shine really brightly, and really stand in its most vibrant high priestess healer energy, for it to stand in the most powerful healer energy it can have. It has to trust in itself. It has to believe in its own worth. It has to have integrity about who I am, what I am. It has also maybe to be able to say no to certain people. No, I'm not offering my flame here. Because I know they're just here for this is nice. Oh, this is nice, right? A nice massage. And then they're out again. So unless perhaps, let's say the integrity can talk about, I offer something if you pay me something, right? So I offer my nice love and light massage or something if you pay me something. Or in what way do you see me? Like, do you recognize that I'm this? But you know, sometimes people have to see this about you, like you have to stand in this vibrancy for them to see. Like this has to become almost like an iron-proof autonomy. That when you stand like this, there's no doubt about who you are. There's no doubt about your worth. There's no doubt about your self-value. There's no doubt about, because you know and you own it and you're never letting it go, right? So if people come to you and they just want to, lodge without seeing this about you, they're probably not the right friends, right? They're probably not the right, maybe family members. Maybe they're the wrong vibration. Again, you could choose here to be the healer of only certain vibrations here. A healer needs customers or, people that actually seek healing by you. But in order for you to be that healer and people seeking healing by you, at least you have to know what kind you are. What kind of healer are you? What capacity do you have? That's the diamond here, right? The diamond that shines within. That is you, like the diamond that is in here. This is this one, right? This one here is in this diamond of yours. And you have the lion, protecting it here. Because this is like this integrity, this self-worth, this vibrancy, this strength, this capacity, this maybe purity here. It's not to be taken for granted. It's not to be stepped upon. This is to be honored and respected. So I speak to the nice guys out there, the nice people, the nice girl, that know that what you have is special. It ought to be honored. But when you ought to have high self-esteem. You ought to have that. You ought to know this about yourself. But I think that those who carry this energy, it's like they are not treated well. They are treated like doormats. That's what happens usually. We say that they finish last because they're too kind or too nice. They may give too much, right? Eventually they end up being the one that starves. But nobody comes to offer you something, right? Nobody comes along to offer you something. They are used to you being the one that does that. So when you start actually closing the door, when you start, having integrity about who you are, what your core is, it sounds counterproductive or but actually the more you have integrity about yourself, the more self-worth you grow about who you are, what you stand for. And if people are not honoring that, if people are not on the same frequency, if they don't see your worth, the more integrity you have, the more magnetic you become. Because it's like it grows, right? The vibrancy in you, the vibrancy inside, as I said here, the vibrancy inside becomes bigger when you actually start saying no. Because what you're doing is that you're choosing yourself now. You're choosing to grow this magnitude of what you are. As a leader, as a healer, whatever it is, I don't know what your core is. The core is in here. And no matter what you are, even if we say that you are a healer, you could be potentially this idea that, but I'm here to help others. I know I'm here to help others. Okay, that's great. But then own that. Own that you are this. And how do you want to help? In what way do you want to help? What is the circumstances? You know? In what way do you want to help? In what way can you help? What is your specialty, or what is it that you bring? Why do people, those that come and warm themselves here by your fire or your little flame here, what is it that they need? What are they seeking? You know, is it sex? Or is it, comforting words? You're this good, nice friend, always available, listening to all their problems in their life, their frustrations, their heartbreaks, the relationship stuff or whatever. What kind of person are you? What are your healer skills? What is it that people want from you when they come in here and they want to warm themselves by your fire? What is it that you offer? Is it a motherliness? Is it that you put yourself aside for the moment and you actually, you contain them for a bit? You contain them in whatever way they kind of, whatever the frustrations they have or whatever they want to let out. Are you the confidant? Are you the confidant, the one that they, tell all their sins to, or all their indiscretions to? Are you the one that sits with all the secrets, actually? Are you the one that holds all the secrets? And do you want to do that just on an everyday basis? Do you want to do you want to make a living of it? Like, is that what you want? The flow in your life, maybe it's difficult to have flow in your life when, people come and lodge. They come and lodge. So maybe you say no to the lodging, right? You say no. I throw everything out that is lodging here with me. That only comes in for comfort. They're just here to, throw off all their pain or something. So if people want to do that, maybe I should make this a business then. At least I earn money, or it becomes or you choose, no, I want a flow life. I want something easier in my life. I want things to be different. I want something to be light and fun and I want it to be like her. Like, I want my life to be like this. I want to be able to levitate and flow in my daydreams or whatever this is. If I wanna immerse myself in romance, I will do that. You know, I can do anything here. I wanna flow into astral travel. That's what I wanna do. But I can't do it as long as people come and lodge on me and expect certain things and fill me with all kinds of stuff, you know. It's a bit like you are an Airbnb here. People just come and lodge here, but they don't pay. They don't pay for anything. Or they don't, they don't give back to you. They are not offering the same thing you are offering them. They warm themselves after you've talked about something, and they have kind of, they have shared something, all their stuff, you know. And then they kind of just lodge in your niceness. Where you may not judge them, you sympathize maybe with them, maybe you support them, you know. It warms their heart up in some way. And then after that they take off. But when you need someone who warms your heart, is there someone there? And that's also why I feel like this is without the sun. It feels like a little match. Like there's only a limited amount of warmth available here. They come in and they may seek your warmth, but when you seek something, when you need something, it could feel like it's not available. All that is available is only those who come and seek my comfort, right? Something like that. But again, I feel like if you somehow could change that memory or just delete it or choose that it's not there, or I'm not that person. Like that person is someone else. This is me. I've always had this. And because I've always had this, the way I move forward in life is with this. And I can do this because I'm circled by a lion here. Who helps me. The lion is about it's the most abundant, it's the most confident, it's the most, so this can also just be, like you're cultivating this inner voice in you. You're cultivating your own Leo here to stand around you, right? You're cultivating this voice that says, I'm worthy, I'm big, I'm vibrant, I'm strong, I am, like that kind of affirmations. I have this around me. Something is protecting me or keeping me vibrant here. Something is keeping my vibrancy. I have integrity. I know who I am. I know I'm worthy. I know I have something special to offer. And if other people can see it, not my problem. I close the door then here. Because I want a life that is in accordance with my terms, right? I want a life that is in flow. And I let this protect me. I let it guide me. It's like a guide or like a friend, an internal friend. it's like a reassurance. It reassures you. Like the integrity bubble is like a reassurance of your worth and integrity of your place here on earth, of your healer skills or of your knowledge perhaps. Third eye here is knowledge typically. You have access to all kinds of information. And owning that, right? Knowing that I have something to offer. I have certain knowledge. I have certain wisdom. I have a certain vibrancy. I know my flame now. And my flame is not just available for anyone. Not if they don't appreciate it. Not if they don't want to back it up. Not if they don't want to stand by my side. You know, not if they don't want to. They want my healer skills, but they don't want to support me, you know. They don't want to, let's say, you were asking, if you have a healer business, let's say you were asking them to give you a feedback that you could put on your website, but they don't want to do that. So they come in and they want the healing, but they don't want to help you grow your business, or they don't want to help you market something, right? But this is like, I'm trying to reverse a memory or reverse a situation with like different choices here. I don't know what your situation is. This is maybe just an example, you know. But whatever your situation is, I feel the new moon it's inviting you to believe that there's a possibility to change your circumstances maybe, and to trust that it is here, or it's available, or you can manifest it if you believe in it. So maybe this is just about starting to believe that you have something like this circling you. Just imagine you have this beautiful lion here circling yourself like an aura, and it's prepared to defend you. It honors you. It sees your value. It's your best friend, and it's circling you here. You could start imagining you have something like this available. It's there all the time, circling you. It sees your value always. It's always there. You know? And it's going to help you have this bubble around yourself. I feel like, for some reason, I also feel like a bit like an empath thing here, like a too open door. It's like there's too much offered or too much available. It's right there on the table. People can just, it's a buffet, you know. And people can just come and take whatever they want and leave again, and then you stand there with like these leftovers, and that's now that's your life force energy, the leftovers, right? Maybe that's why I feel like it's just matches. It's so little, right? There's nothing. It's not vibrant enough to like shine and become big and, you know, I don't know, be productive, or to work, or to have the abundance in your life. This is just a little match here. But I feel like if you allow this lion to wander around you here, if you again you must say yes to it, right? You have to allow the strength here, the angel of strength, to come in and help you keep your boundaries or your aura up or something. So I talk to people pleasers, those who are too nice people here. Grow your. I just listened recently. I listened to or saw a video from Aaron Doughty. You can look up his channel. And he talked about like the frame, like a frame meditation or frame, frame ritual or frame exercise. Perhaps exercise is maybe a good. And you can look it up. It actually talks about like especially for those who identify as empaths, like this idea of separating yourself or individuate from others. So you don't have open doors like that. You're not a buffet, right? That people can just like eat and then they leave again, and now you are left with like the leftovers of something. And that now becomes your life force. This is the only thing you have available, right? Like the little match here. That you can actually, he says he calls it a frame, but we could call it a frame the bubble here, perhaps like a sense of integrity or boundary or individuation in some way. That you are not supposed to be like available like that. Because then it's like you push all your energy outside of yourself, available to whatever is there. And you're left with very little yourself. Which I think that empaths recognize. It's like what they are left with is they feel exhausted and tired and low in energy, and they sometimes have to, like go home and close the doors and something, because it becomes too much somehow. So I feel like this is what you are, like the new moon is bringing up an availability of like working, inviting in this lion here, or whatever you wanna. You can design this lion whatever you want. If you want it to be a dragon, then use the dragon as a metaphor for like a sense of shield or aura around you, right? That is patrolling. It's patrolling 24/7 here around you, a jaguar or something, whatever you wanna, whatever, it's patrolling around you all the time here. But ask it in. Say yes to the help here. That yes, I would like this angel of strength to come in and help me build these boundaries, this integrity, this feeling of self-worth, this and I don't have to offer everything. I can close my doors here. I can close the doors, and I can decide to accumulate my fire here for myself, right? So that I eventually become this. I will stand in my vibrancy, right? Of who I am. Or what I know, like the third eye, the sixth chakra is about knowledge typically. So again, I don't know, maybe that's what you are making available. Maybe you are making knowledge or something available to everyone. Also those who just, this is nice, and then they leave. They may not support you, they may not support the endeavor you're trying to have, your work perhaps or something. They may not support you at work. So we could talk about colleagues here, right? They just come to have a little pep talk from you. Some kind of support or something. And then they leave again. And it makes you feel a bit of a doormat. But because you have a healer gene, it's kind of who you are, right? You don't know what else to do about it. But you can turn the tables, you could say, of being a doormat when you actually realize your worth. And sometimes by saying no, or I'm busy, I don't have time, I'm doing something else, I'm not available for you right now. Actually, I'm available for myself. I choose myself more than you. And I think this is actually very difficult for empaths to hear. I choose myself more than you. Like for empath, that's almost not a thing. Like it's not. Because the helper, pleaser, healer gene is supposed to be in service of others. It's supposed to give. It's almost like the empath or the healer, the people pleaser, they see themselves almost like I'm this gift that others can just have. And somehow I hope that they will see this beautiful gift of me and they will return something to me, but they never do. And the empath feels so misunderstood and so taken for granted and like a doormat. They're not seen, they're not valued, but it's because you don't value yourself. When you start valuing yourself, you grow that confidence of yours. People will feel it. They will understand. But as long as you just offer everything, people will just take it. They will take it and they will walk away. It's like a buffet with all kinds of beautiful dinner, and it's just offered. Why just not take it then if it's just offered? It's like the people who identify like this, if you recognize this in yourself, you don't know what you're doing. You don't know that you're offering something. You may know you're offering something, but you have an idea of that people will offer the same thing back to you, but they don't. They just take it. And they leave you feeling exhausted, tired, drained, things like that. Yeah. So that could be something about learning how much time do you give to something that doesn't really appreciate you. Or if you do it, just know that that's what it is. Know that if I give my time to this person, I'll probably not get the same back. If I'm willing to do that, I probably won't get that back from that person. Maybe you get it from somewhere else, but you don't necessarily get it from that person. You can make yourself available as a healer or with knowledge, or maybe you are a lawyer, right? Maybe you're a lawyer here with certain kind of wisdom. You know something. You can offer help. Maybe you work at a free aid clinic or something. You know something. You offer help. Maybe you are a nurse and you offer help in a free aid clinic. But you may also feel a bit like a doormat, or you may feel like whatever you are earning there, or whatever, that it just seems like it never stops, or it drains me in some way. If it drains you to the point that you have no energy left, you should close your doors. You should close your doors. You should concentrate on your own healing, accumulating, or call back the matches. As I said, it's like take these matches back and you accumulate your fire again here. You should concentrate on accumulating your own fire. and growing that confidence and see your worth, even if nobody else sees it. I see it, right? I see it because I know what nice people are. I know what healers are. I know what it's like they hope that others will see their worth, and they will tell them, and they will give it back in the same amount that the healers do, the helpers, the pleasers, the doormats. But others who take your energy don't do that. It takes another healer to see what this is and understand it, and understand the energy behind it, the drive and the underlying energy behind it. It takes another healer to see it and understand it. I see you, right? I see what this is. Empaths can be quite wounded people. Who have never individuated, who have never had the experience that they could have their own integrity. It's like they always melt with others. And when they melt with others, it's like there is no sense of real self. There is no sense of boundaries or something like that. And I speak from experience. I feel like I've been like that myself. Like, it is very difficult. And that's also why I like this. I said that empaths, it's difficult for them to hear this idea that that they're not supposed to necessarily give everything to everyone else. That other people's agendas is not necessarily your highest priority. You're not put in this world to just people please. That's what I feel like I want to say with this energy. It's life force energy is extremely important, right? We can't feel healthy or vibrant or without it. So if you feel like you have like open auras, or like it's like your energy spills into others or something like that, or other people's energy spills into you, it's like there is no boundary. Like there is no like there are open doors. If you feel like that is the truth and you have a difficult time creating these integrity layers or something like that around you, that you have no lion patrolling the perimeter, something like that, and you don't know how to change it, well, you could look up this framework thing from Aaron Doughty, but also just look up everything that has to do with the idea of individuation. What does it mean? What does it take? What are the steps towards it? And it will be a practice. It doesn't come overnight. If you still feel that you have problems with this, I think I would say that you probably should design your life with as little external influence as possible. Design a life, where you are, maybe you work from home. Maybe you are a scientist, so you have a lot of time with yourself and books or whatever you're doing. Design a life where you have less interaction with Some do, like distant crystal healings. Maybe it's better to sit as a distant Reiki healer instead of sitting with the person in front of you. If you can't seem to separate your energies from it, at least let the distance between you be a separation. Maybe that's the lion, right? That it becomes this protector around you. That the distance you have between you and something else is the lion, You can imagine the lion in whatever way. Maybe it's a dragon, maybe it's a jaguar, maybe it's a titanium shield, I don't know. But it's just to imagine that you have this around you. This is now your protective shield. As I said, it could be an internal thing. It could be something like your inner voices are not helping each other out. You could have an inner voice who says, but a helper, like a helper and a healer, must always be available. They must always give what they have. Maybe this is something you've been taught when you grew up, that I must always give what I have to others. I must always be available. I must be in this way. But if it's draining your energy and leaving you exhausted, no, you must not do that, of course. No matter what you have been taught, no matter what has been said to you, no matter whether it goes against the idea of being a good person, then it becomes a suicide, a self-harm. So there could be something about, like, again, the voices in your head. Are they actually supporting each other here? Like the core you have and the voice in your head, how are they working together? That could also be what this is, like that the lion here represents your ego, or it represents something you've been taught, right? But it now bows down and knows that there's something else here. We have to work together somehow, right? This is what I have. I hope this helps somehow for someone out there, perhaps. Like building that integrity, saying no, practicing this, and going through the emotions that comes up. Because I remember when I tried it the first time, I felt so bad. Like I felt I was the worst person ever. I felt like I was like such a bad person, and like I was betraying, like I was betraying something in me. Like I should be this person, I ought to be this person, right? But and by saying no, it just felt like but it's a practice. It's something about being able to withhold, or because it creates tension. It creates tension within yourself. It may create tension between you and someone else you say no to, perhaps. And that tension, it's like you have to be able to handle that tension. And maybe that's why you need the lion here, because it's very strong, right? It can hold the tension. It can't withstand the tension that may occur in a situation where you say no to something. And immediately you feel, I have bad conscience. Oh, I should have said yes. So what are they thinking about me? And I'm the worst person ever. Because, you have all these voices in your head that are dictating you what a good person is, how a good person should be. But as long as you are, like in a discussion with that, you will not have a flowing life. You will not be able to relax. You will not be able to be creative, perhaps. You will not be able to have that easy life that you are looking for. It wears off. I want to say that. It will wear off. The people you say no to, who are maybe, creating a sense of tension, or your no creates a sense of tension from them, eventually they will understand. Unless you're dealing with a narcissist or something, then I would say you probably need to shove them totally out of your life, if possible. But otherwise, other people, they will eventually get it. They may not still like it, but it's like the tension can wear off if you just stand your ground and you don't give in. They will eventually understand that you are actually you are doing an individuation process from them. And you're no longer the doormat, or you're not always available, or you're not always listening, or don't always agree. You're actually individuating from them, and you are insisting on having your own voice and your own truth or your own knowledge here. And the tension will wear off unless you're dealing with people that really don't want to see you grow. They don't want to see you individuate. They want to keep you in a lock tight with them. And those people you should probably not interact with, or at least as possible, at the least amount as possible. Because they will never let you flow like that. They will never, they will always create a sense of tension or strife or, some kind of disagreement. And it can keep you occupied. You can become occupied in your feelings and your thoughts about that. How to harmonize it, and that's what empaths do, right? They harmonize. They're not very good at dealing with tension. So they hate tension actually. Tension can't make them flow like that. So to have, to have the feeling of no tension, you may need to create a boundary around yourself, right? So that you can feel it. And that's exactly the difficulty empaths have due to certain invasion trauma. I believe in my own case, it's like an invasion trauma. And having a difficult time kind of closing the door again, which makes you somehow always available to something else. It's like it's lodging. It's lodging in your energy. And it's like you are constantly somehow occupied with it in your mind space, and you're not supposed to be. You were just from the get-go, fairly open. You were just from the get-go perhaps sensitive. You weren't prepared for what came towards you. Yeah, so this is what I have. You can take your power back. Please invite in this angel. And you can just visualize it. Imagine that you have something that is somehow just it's there, it's available. Every time you feel like you stand in front of something, you want to say no to it. Because actually you do not have the energy to go to this birthday, or you do not have the energy to be, like a kind friend today. Maybe you're the one needing a nice kind friend, right? And you don't want to be the nice kind friend today. So you should say no. But when you say no, you feel the tension, right? You feel that the disappointment, and but you must be available to me, right? You have to be available. That is kind of your role here. You cannot say no, right? So you will feel the tension from others, and maybe have the bad conscience. Maybe you normally give in. Then you become the good friend anyway, even though you don't have the resources for it. You should say no. You should say no to that birthday. You should stay at home. You should rejuvenate. You should use all your energy on trying to build this armor around yourself, or this integrity around yourself. Owning who you are and what you are, and this is not to be taken for granted. Most nice people, they don't know their own worth. They don't know what they actually bring to the world. And some nice people have been designed to be nice people. They actually are not, but they have been designed to, they are maybe nice people, but they don't know their own boundaries. They don't know that they can say no. They don't know that it's all right to say no. They see other people do it, and they just know they can't. But you can. You can actually, but you have to train yourself. The individuation process is usually done when the child is young. So there will be the disagreement with the parents, and they're testing the parents. They're testing to see how far they can go. They show up. They speak their own mind. They want to have their own say. They want to be heard. They want to be respected. They want to do that and still be loved by their parents, right? And sometimes this doesn't happen. They realize they are not loved by their parents unless they comply, so the individuation process never happens, which makes it difficult to stand on your own 2 feet, needing other people. But you do have it in you. I want to say that. It is there. If I could find it, you can find it. And building up this worth of yours. But you can't do it with them. Like those people that just, they warm yourself by and then they leave. You can't build with them. They will never give that to you, what you're looking for. You should close the doors and try to build this with yourself. Of course, you can seek therapy. In therapy, the same thing happens. In therapy, the psychologist or whatever, they make themselves available for you. Like this hour or whatever you have decided on, they make themselves available for you. They put themselves aside. They listen to what's on your mind, how you feel. You can tell them anything you want about yourself, all your sins if you want to, all the things where you feel that you're the worst person ever. You can tell them. They can help you find strategies to overcome some of this. Maybe you would like a therapist to help you. The therapist can also help you build this lion here. Support you in your attempt to build this lion. They can validate you when you try to build this individuation process. That you can have your own autonomy, that's quite all right. You can have your own voice. That whatever you feel and whatever it's true to you, it really is. It's not up for debate. Like, this is who you are. And even if others don't validate it, it doesn't mean that it isn't true about you. It is. So a psychologist can help you see some of this. And one of the reasons why they do that is that because they take all their own ego aside. And it's all about you. But if you think a bit closer on this is exactly the same thing you have offered others. You were that psychologist. You were that friend. You would support them. You would validate them. Everything would be about them. You would know them better than they know themselves. You would try to help them in whatever way you could. You became that one for them. That's why they come, this is nice, right? You become their best friend in that moment, for that hour or whatever. You are the best friend ever. You're the cheerleader. You help them. You make them see how beautiful they are and everything they like. Of course it's okay. Of course it's all right. You validate them. You sympathize with them. You have been that exactly for them. And this is now what you need to do for yourself. You become your own best friend. So whatever you have offered for everyone else, you do that for yourself here. Or, as I said, you can seek out a therapist maybe who can help you and validate your wish to say no. Validate that it's okay to say no. Of course you can say no. If you feel drained and it kind of invades your boundaries, no, right? No, no, no. Yeah, this is what I have. I hope this helped somehow. Take care of yourself, everybody out there. Love and light to you. Bye-bye.